ECOWAS is talking about invading Niger, because in their mind, they think that Niger is another country. Africa is literally it's one group of people, and we should love one another. That's Africa. But today, ECOWAS is talking about invading Niger and all these other different countries to support whatever. It's US, France, putting their eyes on that, ready for anything, because we think Niger is another country. You see how this is messing up? And this was very strategic. When these guys were creating the borders for Africa, to divide Africa, they did not just create because they wanted, oh, I want this piece for myself and that piece for myself. No, they thought about 1,000 years later. They knew that these guys one day they're going to fight for their independence, and we'll give it to them. They will have their independence. And after independence, then what next? How are we going to get them? Okay, we are going to confuse them. They must fight against one another, because right now, in our minds, even though we talk about one Africa, but in our mind, we still think and we still talk about division in Africa. That, oh, this is my country. My country is Niger. All right, my country is Tanzania. My country is Ethiopia. Man, you're an African. Al-Kabulan, you are an African. And the entire continent of Africa, we must know that we are one people. And these borders, these are the reason why our countries are fighting against each other all the time. This is the reason why in the past, you see, maybe Ethiopia, Somalia, they had a conflict. Recently, last year, it was actually Somalia and, Kenya, they were having some tensions. Okay, you see, then right now, Niger and, ECOWAS, they have tension, because in our mind, we still think that we are different countries. In our mind, we need to be decolonized first in our mind, knowing that whatever countries out there, we are one country, we are one Africa. Once we know that, once we understand that, once we realize that, then we're going to treat each other as neighbors. We're going to treat each other as brothers. We're going to treat each other, not why scaring one another. I don't see the reason to scare one another. I don't see the reason. I don't see the reason that we're going to invade you, we're going to beat the hell out of you. I don't see the reason for us to do that, because we are one people. Okay, only my parents, my dad and my mom can say that. I'm going to beat the heck out of you, but are you going to tell your dad that? You ain't going to be able to do that. We are one family, and once we realize that we are one family, then these borders, they mean nothing. They mean nothing. And ECOWAS, once they realize that, oh, my goodness, even Niger, this is part of you. So declaring war against your own people, basically you're declaring war against your own people, like literally. And it does not make sense. There's many solutions we can take. There's many ways we can take. I don't care. Even if it takes like 1 year for negotiation, let it take that long. But war must not be an option in Africa. But we can only think like that if we start thinking that we're one family. But sadly, even these organizations and our leaders, we don't think that we're one family. So we think the only solution is war. War is the only solution that we could take. War is the only solution that we take. That's not the road for us to take in. So we need to decolonize our mind to realize that whatever country you're coming from, think about your country right now. It doesn't matter how much population you have. In Africa, Nigeria is the largest population in Africa. It doesn't matter. You're an African. Even if you're coming from Togo, small country, and it has less population, it doesn't matter. We are all Africans. That's what matters. That's what matters. Oh, let me say this. These names of our countries and these borders, we should just think like names, just names, that we are all Africans, but all of us, we have different names. All right, this area called Togo, this area called Nigeria, this area called Kenya, this area called South Africa, this area called Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Malawi, Zambia, Mozambique. All right, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, DR, Brazzaville, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Sudan, Mali, and you have Algeria, Egypt, Tunisia, all these countries. We should just think these are just the names. Names like names. I always say this: Africa is one big family with 55 million children, 54 countries in Africa, and our brothers and sisters, African descendants all across the world. This is Africa. And this is how we should see ourselves. If we see ourselves that way, then this conflict, guys, I'm telling you, I'm not saying that we're going to have perfect peace. I'm not naive. I know we're going to still have tension here and there. But man, we're going to save a lot of lives, because all these things that are going right now, we're going to be able to stop them from happening. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we are bringing this petition to everybody, that one Africa right now, and we need 100 million signatures for African Union to realize that, to take that action right now. We want one passport. That passport was already released in 2008. Do you know that, guys? Do you know that African leaders, all of them, they have African Union passport right now? Do you know? Do you know that people who are working in the Organization of African Union, they have African Union passport? I've seen it with my own two naked eyes. They have it. So one Africa passport is there already. But why? The idea, the vision, it was to distribute it to all the people of Africa. I think it was until 2010 or something. Is it not 2010? I think 2018 or 18 or 19, something like that. I don't remember precisely, but that was the idea to do. And the leader that launched at that time, I think the chairman, it was the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, and they launched it. They launched African Union passports, and it was supposed to be distributed to all African countries, all Africans. That means brothers, man, diaspora outside of the continent, you guys, you'll be able to have African Union passport. Because African Union also recognizes diaspora as another region part of African Union organization. So in that sense, that all of us, we are one people. So this thing, but why is not happening until today? Because there are people who are benefit from the division of Africa. There are people that day and night, they're working to make sure that Africa is never going to be united, so that they may take advantage of Africa, and we may be in the conflicts like this. We may be in the things like this. Today, Niger is getting the entire attention of the entire world. People are not talking about Ukraine anymore. They're talking about Niger right now. Why? You must just think about it. Why is that? And if we are not willing to be united right now, man, we are going to lose Niger. Man, we are going to lose other country. Our country are going to be destabilized one after another one. Today, in 20 different countries in Africa, they have foreign military bases. 20 countries in Africa. Guys, 20 countries in Africa. I've seen it and I was shocked. 20 countries in Africa, they have military bases. Foreign military bases in Africa today. Without one Africa, we are not going to survive. Because that means is, if you guys are not going to listen to us, man, we have our military bases in your countries. We have bombs. We have guns. They're going to shoot you. By hooks and crooks, anything must happen. Everything has to happen in our favor. That's what they think. But Africans, when are we going to wake up? African Union, when are we going to wake up? Organization, EAC, ECOWAS, SADC, when are we going to wake up, realize that, man, the time is now. The time is now. People are ready. People are working, and we want Africa, one Africa right now. Otherwise, we're not going to survive. I'm calling upon all the organizations in Africa. I'm calling upon all the countries in Africa. Look at what is going on. Look at how much interest is there for Niger, and ask yourself why. There's a war happening in Sudan right now. Happening there. There's conflicts happening in Ethiopia right now. There's war happening in Ukraine right now. But all the tension is there in Niger. Why is that? If we are not going to wake up today and demand one Africa ASAP, as soon as possible right now, I'm afraid that we're not going to have Africa for our future generations, for our kids. We're not going to have that. When are we going to have that? When are we going to have, if we don't do it right now? So that's why we have this initiative, One Africa right now. Kwame Nkrumah said, Africa must unite. Nyerere said, without unity, there's no future for Africa. We say that unity is everything. One Africa right now. And we are going to fulfill the vision of our forefathers, Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Kaunda, Lumumba, Kenyatta. We are going to achieve, guys, we are going to achieve today. We want one Africa right now. And we're just starting, men, with 100 million signatures. That is just the beginning. All right, that's just the beginning to tell them that, okay, you see this? This is to tell you that we want one Africa right now. And this is to send message everywhere to all the people that, hey, guys, we are serious about this and we want it right now. Make it happen right now. Those passports are already there. African Union passport. They need to be freedom to all the people. All this visa restriction, remove the visa restriction to Africans descendants here in the continent. Remove them. Let us move freely inside our continent. This is the time. This is the time to form one military base, one arm. in Africa. Your country bring a certain army. Your country bring, and we create this one. This is the time to fight for the one currency. Guys, one currency, African currency, not BRICS currency. Let me say this again, not BRICS currency, African currency. It's, you know, I do not understand. I see other Africans talking about BRIC currency. Yes, we can have that BRIC currency, it's okay, but we must have our own currency first. African currency, first and foremost. That is our priority. Our priority is Africa's unity. Our priority is Africa's currency. Our priority is one Africa. Our priority is one passport. Our priority is one army. Our priority is one Africa. That's what we need. And then let's see if they're not going to respect us. Let us see if they're not going to listen to us. Because if Westerners are not listening to us, we're gonna go to somewhere else. They'll listen to us, man. They'll listen to us. They will know that we are serious. The reason why the world is not taking serious Africa is because we're not united. It's because all these things are happening and other leaders are just staying quiet. Other leaders, they show clearly which side they are on. This is crazy. This is why they're not taking us serious. This is why they say, okay, leave those YouTuber guys, you know, to just talk. Oh, leave those. They're just talking. They're not gonna do anything. They cannot make any decision. They just talk. No, now we are going to show you, man. And I thank God, man. I thank God, because the way that He gave us this vision of one Africa, man, it's not just from just one man. Man, we are everywhere. That means you cannot shut us down. We are scattered all across the continent. We are scattered all across the world. How are you going to shut us down? If you shut me down today, somebody else will speak from Kenya. Somebody else will speak from Washington, D.C. Someone else will speak from anywhere. We are everywhere. I'm telling you, man, it's... Let me tell you this, that Africa, we are here and we are coming for you, all right? You have pressed us down for a long time. Now is the time for Africans to arise. Your time is now. Arise and shine, because your time has come. This is the moment for Africa to shine. This is the moment for Africa to take the lead. This is the moment for our people. We are fighting for our next generation, man. Let me tell you this, man. The reason why I'm fighting so passionately, first of all, because God has given me vision. Second of all, I'm fighting for my own family. I'm fighting for them. I don't want them to be in Africa that I am right now. I don't want them to come here and their job 24/7 will be talking about this stuff. I don't want them to do that. I want them to enjoy this Africa. I want them, whenever they want to go on a vacation, they'll fly to Niger to the shop. They'll fly to Somalia to the shop without being scared of anything. I want that to happen to my kids. I want them to happen to the next generation. That's why I'm fighting for this. And you guys, if you're an African, man, you know, all of you guys, you have your future. Some of you already have kids and you want the best future for them. This is your fight. This is our fight. We ain't, you know, leaders are not doing their part. We let them continue to sleep, man. We are at work and we're going to take the leads. So be ready. This is just an introduction. Be ready for that petition. All right. Be ready for that petition and be ready for anything. Because when you speak like this, they hear. When we speak like this, they're going to try whatever they can, man. But do not be afraid. I said this the other day last week. I'm going to say this again. Never be afraid. The devil wins when you're afraid. He wins it. The battle does not belong to us. It belongs to the Lord. And do not be afraid, because God is with you. God is with us. This fight is not just a one-man standing, man. Do you understand how many army we have on our side? Those that you can see and those that you do not see. Do you understand how many people are ready to step out and say, you know what, we are ready for anything to happen? Do you know how many people are that? But one thing that we don't think about it often is that the army of God is on our side as well. Because when you read the scriptures, you will see a lot of time God showed up when poor people were undermined, when weak people were undermined, when those people that were disregarded in the society. Those are people that Christ came to fight for. And we are here today. We have been undermined for so long. And God has given us vision. That, you know, vision, that's the meaning of vision. Like vision, it's basically you seeing your future before you get there. You might be living complicated life right now. You might be living the life that you never wanted to live. But what is your vision? Without vision, my people are perished. My people are perished without, man, if you do not have vision, then you're perished. Our vision for Africa is prosperous Africa, is bright Africa, is educated Africa, is the Africa that is full of science and technology, that we're going to develop our medicine for ourselves. We're going to have enough electricity for ourselves. We're going to have education for ourselves. We're going to have different innovation for ourselves here in the continent. We're going to have the social medias like this for ourselves. We're going to have our own medias ourselves. That's why we call this SNN, man, Swahili Nation Network. This is not just a YouTube. It is a media. And you're going to have this in 4 years right now. You're going to have that. And it might happen sooner than that. That's the vision we have for Africa. That means right now, as I am right now, as we are talking right now, as we are discussing right now, we are already living the future. We're living that vision. And we are making it reality. And that's what we want. We want one Africa right now. Right now, one Africa. I want when I have my first kid to be born in one Africa. That's what I want. That the first identity of my kid will be like, hey, you're an African. Oh my goodness. I feel like praising the Lord right now. The first identity for my kids, I want them to be, you're an African. The first passport my kid is going to grab, I want it to be one Africa. African Union passport. I want that. One Africa passport. That's what I want. And I know that's what you want. So guys, get ready for this petition. It's coming along your way. And we need 100 million signatures. You have people watching on TikTok right now, and here on YouTube, 245 people. You guys, if you take this petition, you share with 245 other people, you all know what we're going to get. If you share on your groups, you all know what we're going to get. Man, we're going to receive that one Africa right now. It's a command, it's a demand. You can't keep promising us at 2063. 2063? Ain't nobody got time for that, 2063. I don't have that time for that. 2063, we're not going to have Africa anymore. Africa will be recolonized again for the second time and third time, possibly. 2063, no, right now. Because right now we are standing here for our people in Niger. We're standing for our guys in Niger. And it must happen as soon as possible. All right, guys, that was just introduction.